whether it's the way parents discipline their kids at home or the way a child acts in school. Like, it's far beyond our control. Hey teammates, welcome back to Teaching with Tania. The goal for Teacher Talks is to just give you guys an insight on my mind, my mindset as a teacher, and just like where my head is at, because I feel like we can show all these day in a life, weeks in a life as a teacher. By the end of the day, like, it gets real. This teacher diary, I just want to talk about how we cannot save all of our students. And that definitely hurts my core, because I feel like some teachers, and I was low-key guilty of this at first too, like thinking that I can go in and put the whole education system on my back and save everybody and just give all my students a great quality education. But I have quickly realized that that's not the case. There are a lot of childhood traumas that we're dealing with, things that are low-key out of our control. Whether it's the way parents discipline their kids at home or the way a child acts in school, like, it's far beyond our control. You could do all the correct teacher techniques in the classroom, but it's still more than likely it's not going to change their behavior. You could do all the techniques that you have in your toolbox, you see online, or just resources that other people have given you. You can use everything, but every child is different. It's low-key like parenting. Like, I have no kids yet, but I feel like my third graders are my third grade little babies, you know? I want to have a great positive relationship with them and make sure that nothing bad happens to them in the world, you know? I try my hardest to create a loving environment that my students want to come to school, they want to learn, and they want to do well and exceed so that they can live up to their best potential. Sorry, something in my eye. But I'm realizing that I cannot save them. There are things as teachers that are outside of our control. And I feel like I need to say that louder for the people in the back. There are things that are outside of our control. As if admin or the district or anybody like realizes that. But we can't control how a student responds to something. We can't even control if that kid comes to school or not, and let alone you have this great lesson and boom, they're not even here. So it's been a lot of things that I'm realizing that I could try everything in my power, but there are just certain walls that are up that I could try to break down as much as I can by having positive conversations with the student, by making sure that their work is ready, making life as smooth as possible for them when they get into the school building, as long as they get here. And I have realized that also some of these things are like generational, some of these things are systemic, and it just hurts my heart because I truly believe every child has the right to a great quality education, and unfortunately there are just boundaries that I've had to come to terms with, that I can't save everybody. Like, it's literally too much for us to bear. But during my Devo time, I have realized the one person that can save my students, and that's far out of my control, and that is God. And that He's the only one that can save us. And we could try all day long with our superhuman strength to do whatever, but some things are just out of our control, and I hate to hear that. I hate to realize, and I had to really sit in that, like, these are things that are outside of my control. And I don't know, like, where you're feeling as a teacher or where you're at in your school year, but it definitely has hit home to me, and I was wondering, like, do other teachers feel like this, or is it just me? Because I want everything to be perfect. I want the best circumstances for my students and the best opportunities, but in reality, that's not the case. That is not the case. I have heard some of my other teacher friends come up with this concept as well. Like, they try to do this, and this, and really that's all of everything that they could control. After having this talk, it was like I had to literally write down the things that are in my control and the things that are out of my control and release them to God and pray about them. And at the end of the day, do the best that I can with the students that I have and the ones that come to school, and do what they're supposed to do. The ones that don't, or the ones that do have behavior problems, it's like hopefully later on down the line it will click, or their circumstances get better, or their behavior gets better. Like, it's a whole spectrum of things that students deal with. And another layer to this is that our students, especially the ones nowadays, have had to deal with so much more than what other children have had to deal with. And I don't like to compare people's struggles or life. Like, everybody has a different type of hard, whether your heart is less or whatever, harder than someone else's heart. At the end of the day, we all have struggles that we go through, but the key is how you respond to that adversity. And I teach my students to be resilient, teach my students that it's okay to do hard things and to keep going. And really, that is where my mind is, and that's where I've had to come to really hard terms with myself, that I'm not the savior. I can't save all of my students, and at the end of the day, they go back home to a family that has to raise them as well. Like, I feel like as a teacher, we're an extension of the parents. We're not solely the parents. And I have had to lift my hands on some things, and it's been quite hard. And I'm still processing it as well, but that's just my teacher diary, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. So let me know down in the comments how you feel about this topic, because I feel like as teachers, we all have the savior complex, or we just want to be able to save our students and do what's best for them. But I have found that there is a healthy balance between wanting your students to achieve and having high expectations for them, but also realizing where they come from and how it may take years, days, or even weeks for them to meet that high expectation. But nonetheless, continue to have high expectations for your students, and I fully believe and have confidence that they will make it and achieve it. It's just how and when, if that makes sense. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video.